Toon Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello and welcome to Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And you've joined us on another adventure into the swamp. I say another, we haven't done one before in the swamp, but hey ho, here we are. Yes, today we are talking about Amphibia. Maybe you know about Amphibia, maybe you don't. So before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about it, just so you've got somewhere to start. Amphibia is an American animated television series created by Matt Braley that premiered on Disney Channel on June 17th, 2019. On February 19th of 2018, Amphibia was greenlit by Disney Channel alongside The Owl House, which we've talked about previously. We did that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd have a go with this one as well. The series was created and executive produced again by Matt Braley, previously a storyboard artist on Gravity Falls and later a director on both Gravity Falls and Big City Greens. According to his Twitter account, he had been working on the series for almost 2 years before being greenlit, though he began to conceive the project while working on Gravity Falls began to work on Gravity Falls began to conclude. On May 15th of 2019, Disney Channel renewed Amphibia for a second season ahead of its premiere, and on June 23rd, 2020, the show was renewed for a third season ahead of its second season premiere. In a Reddit AMA, Braley referred to Amphibia as a 3-act story, with season 2 as the second act. He further clarified that he had structured the story for 3 seasons currently, implying that season 3 will serve as the final season of the show. On the 10th of February 2022, episodes 10 and 11 of season 3 were leaked and then announced by Matt Braley on Twitter. Apparently, the show was based on Braley's childhood trips to Bangkok, Thailand. The series tone was inspired by films by Aardman Animation and Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli. I don't really know what the correct pronunciation of that is.
No, I just say I say Ghibli just because,
I say Ghibli, but someone once did the one. You know when people like sort of go, oh, it's scoffed at me. So it's Ghibli.
Like a Street Fighter villain.
Yeah, and you're like, ugh. So now I'm a bit like hesitant as to what to call it. Okay, let's go with Ghibli because of that scoff.
Yeah.
If it's wrong,
conformist.
I don't care. Scoff at me. Go on.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. But yes, going back to the information, the series tone was inspired by Aardman and Studio Ghibli, while its storytelling format was inspired by Gravity Falls and Steven Universe. Brady was also inspired by video games such as The Legend of Zelda and Chrono Trigger when creating the series. So, pretty interesting. I don't think we've had anyone say that they've been inspired by video games before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of them have if they're like that generation, but just never overtly have said that much.
Yeah. They've said this is, and Zelda's got to be one that loads of shows. It's so easy to use it as an inspiration because the story is so questionable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's so like it's there, but you have to really find it.
Yeah.
And that it makes it almost more intriguing.
That's it. And it's almost like the building blocks for fantasy as well, isn't it? Like the Zelda stuff. It's just like, that those type of outfits, that type of environment, those type of characters. It's like, Zelda-y. It's Zelda, like everything fantasy is kind of Zelda-y, and everything Zelda is kind of fantasy.
It goes in.
Yeah, they kind of interlock in a way that we can never separate.
A few fun facts about the show. The series marks the first animated show to have a Thai American lead.
Oh.
Braley, who is Thai American, chose to make the series lead character and Boon Choi Thai American because he wanted more Thai American characters in the television series, and was loosely inspired by his grandmother.
Oh.
So there you go. Another fun fact: Muppet performer Matt Vogel as Kermit the Frog made an appearance in season 2.
Oh, really?
Episode Swamp and Sensibility. However, Kermit himself, who Vogel performed since 2017, was credited for the role in promotional material. So there you go.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So Kermit the Frog is actually a guest star rather as opposed to
Matt Vogel.
the voice. Yeah. And James Turner, a British illustrator, most well known for his work on the Pokemon series of games, having created several Pokemon designs and worked as the art director for Pokemon Sword and Shield, provided artwork during the initial stages of the project.
Oh.
So there you go. Ties to even, Pokemon.
The video game, some would say.
Yeah. Insane. So yeah, loads of interesting little facts there. And I'm sure there are more. But I'm not going to dig into them. I think we've kind of covered the basics there. So have you watched this before?
No, I have not. I think maybe I've heard it in passing throughout the internet because the fans seem very vocal from what I've seen.
Yeah,
but I think we found the same with Owl House. Though, does that like?
Yeah, it's kind of like a it's like the makings of a cult classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's not really a classic because it's quite new still and current, but there's definitely a sort of cultish following.
Yeah.
That's the way it sort of feels. Obviously, it just speaks to people in that same way that the Owl House did, I guess. Well, speaking of that, so let's check out the ratings. I can tell you we've got an IMDb rating and an audience score on Rotten Tommies. So no tomatometer, but I mean probably not we can assume that it's 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'd have guessed.
Yeah, that's why they've not even bothered reviewing, I suppose. So let's take your guesses. IMDb rating, what do you think?
IMDb 7.8.
Okay, 7.8. And your average audience score on Rotten Tomatoes?
85%.
Okay, so IMDb, there is a number of 4.3 thousand people.
Wow.
Users rating it, so this is quite a healthy one.
Yeah.
And that is, you said 7.8.
Yeah,
it's 8.2.
Oh.
So yeah, higher than you expected, but not too far off.
In the 8s.
Yeah. And for the audience score, you said 85.
Did I?
85%. Well, that's what we're going with now.
Yeah.
The actual score is higher than that. It's 92.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, so, they're out there, the fans. They're certainly out there.
Yeah, so you definitely you underestimated it.
Yeah. I should have known these fans.
Yeah, they're there. Strangely enough, I mean, we didn't do this at the time. We did Cow and Chicken, but I've just seen a rating below for Cow and Chicken. You might also like. This is more of just an interesting thing for, our jam heads listening. It only has an audience score, but it's 64%.
Really?
Low.
That's weird.
Insulting, I would say.
Yeah, it got to be like adults, like mums and dads who've seen it and been like, "This is gross."
Yeah.
Let me head over here and downrate it.
Unbelievable.
Strange. 64 for Cow and Chicken. That's upsetting.
Yeah. Hey ho, but yeah, that's not what we're talking about today. So there we go. But what's Twitter got to say about it? What are the comments going around the web?
Yes, so like you said, many fans on Twitter. I think we've jumped on an exciting time for amphibians. I'm assuming that's what the fan base is called.
Yeah.
Because I think season 3 is on now or something. Like it's back. There's a lot of people saying it's back right now. That's what I got from Twitter. So we've got average text liker who says, "Amphibia is too good to pass up on. I swear you're missing out."
Oh,
So
I like the assumption that you've not watched it.
yeah. I think that was in reply to somebody, but
Oh, right, okay. Apologies. Yeah.
Also, yeah, you are missing out if you haven't watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know who's watched it and they know who haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, immediately that's a good review.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
Yeah. Positives.
Yeah. Positive review.
Brain Chose, who says, Amphibia is such an average yet excellent show. There'll be a pacing issue and a writing flaw right next to smart foreshadowing and interesting revelations that was planned seasons in advance, and it's a contrast for sure.
What an interesting review that is.
I know.
I mean, both average and excellent. That does not compute in my mind.
It's really going back and forth for them. It's
yeah.
Flawed yet fantastic at the same time.
Yeah. Real confusion on that one. But I would say it was still a positive review.
Yeah. I think I think despite obvious flaws, I think they're saying it has moments that it really excels. So
yeah, the weird thing is, though I feel like I don't understand what they're saying, I also agree with it. Straight off the bat. So yeah, very I guess that's the whole. That tweet is like a piece of art almost.
Yeah, it was poetry.
Yeah.
That's the fans. I'm telling you, the fans. They come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got Teen Sprite, who says, and this may be a spoiler for those going forward, so heads up. They say the most tragic plotline in Amphibia is Anne's missing shoe. Crying face, crying face, crying face. Prayer hands, prayer hands, prayer hands. Hope she gets better soon.
Oh boy, things clearly happened to this shoe then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the shoe. Who knew the shoe would be where all the pain is?
Yeah. Tragedy. The poor shoe.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a joke or genuinely that's like they wrote a really harrowing storyline.
Yeah, it feels like. I mean, we know what happens to the shoe by the end of the first episode. I can only imagine more is involved.
Yeah.
After this point.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's not where we thought it was going to go, but it did.
So, even inanimate objects inspiring emotions in people.
That's it. We have DJ2 Superstars, who says, all good things have come to an end, and Amphibia is one of them. Crying face heart.
Oh no. That's that moment tragedy as it has ended.
Yeah.
So, I mean, has it ended then?
I know. Well, they said 3 seasons, and this is the 3rd season. So, but apparently, people are saying it hasn't actually ended. So, it's still up in the air on that one. Toon Jam cannot confirm.
No, we can neither confirm nor deny.
Nor deny that one.
But yeah, I mean, it's that moment. And do you know what though? Better to end like that than trawl on.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so.
The amount of things that you just stop watching because you just like, I actually did like that. I just got bored of it.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want to go out on a high, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, we've got Greg with the art, who says, objectively, I will be as bold to say that Amphibia is better than Owl House. Story is better, characters are more developed, and they do it primarily in 2 12-minute episode format.
Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, this is the trouble when you have 2 things that are sort of going at the same time, side by side.
Yeah.
There's always going to be, those that one's going to be more popular or people are going to sort of pick at the other because of it and in those kind of ways.
Yeah. Fans have to make things fight. That's like part of being a fan.
Exactly, yeah. We've all done it.
Yeah.
You know, we've done comparison episodes.
Yeah.
Ourselves. Yeah. We've done it. We're guilty as well.
Mm. It's just human nature to make things brawl.
Yeah.
I
mean, let's be honest. We're going to start talking about this in a minute, and there's no way we're not going to mention Owl House.
Oh yeah, of course. To get ready for the fight.
Yeah.
This is just the preamble.
This is someone's already thrown the gauntlet down.
Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting. So they're a bigger fan of Amphibia.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the tweets were then followed by a stream of Owl House, diehards who were like, "How dare he?" But yeah, that's I think good points raised. I mean,
yeah. I mean, each to their own as well. Like,
yeah.
Prefer one, people are going to prefer the other.
Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for Twitter. I mean,
okay.
Very vocal fans.
Favourable reviews.
Yeah.
Nothing negative, I would say there.
No. All pretty happy folk.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the tragedies within the show, but
I mean, the whole shoe.
Yeah, the shoe
situation is real downer on the whole thing. But the rest of it is
it's real good. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, let's dig in then. Let's talk about those kind of similarities, those differences. The one thing you do kind of notice watching it. Obviously, we did Owl House not long ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to be comparing. But the one thing I noticed is it's almost like the other side of the coin. So Owl House is, you've got a main character that just is completely different and doesn't want to fit in.
Yeah.
But like everyone's trying to make them. This is kind of the reverse.
Yeah.
The main character in this, she kind of just wants to fit in. Not so much among the frogs, but of the short snippets of her backstory we've seen.
Yeah.
She's stolen something to please her mates.
Yeah.
It's kind of like similar values, but told from different sides. Which is good, really, because then you've got both sides.
Yeah.
You can kind of see why they brought them out at the same time, and they have sort of a weird. It's like they're linked without being linked.
Yeah.
I suppose because they're similar subjects, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously it's the human character thrust into a world of odd creatures as well.
Yeah, like a fantasy world.
Yeah. Zelda inspired, no,
Yeah, no doubt.
No, of course.
On both ends. But yeah, I mean, the difference is this feels more like, I'd say a more conventional cartoon.
Yeah.
Like what we'd expect from a cartoon in a way. Not that Owl House is particularly like, you wouldn't watch it and be like, what is this? but this feels more, like you've got two short segments.
Yeah.
Each one is like a wacky adventure in a way. But it's a bit, it's just a more familiar layout, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with teases of like an overarching story as well.
Yeah. There's definitely like, we do get to see more and more of like her past and stuff, and what she's sort of aiming to get, and what her wants and needs and all that kind of good stuff. But at the same time, I feel like there's more hijinks in this one, maybe.
Yes.
It delves into fun time pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think just the characters feel a bit more broad in like their audience.
Yeah.
Whereas, Owl House felt like it was calling out to people that feel like they don't fit in. Yeah. And even though everyone can kind of relate to that, this just feels a bit more general, like, you know less about their social standing.
Yeah.
In a way. So it doesn't really come into it.
Yeah. I think you could you could jump straight into this. But I mean, even the first one, to be fair, it wasn't it wasn't like a delve into backstory to get us to where we wanted to be. Like, you could pick that up and just be, I mean, we did,
Yeah.
and just go in and be like, okay, yeah, like, not really any, don't really need any deep knowledge prior or anything. And the characters are, like we said, sort of slowly fed to you in a way that feels like, yeah, okay, cool, like, I'm happy knowing this much, and it's just enough for it to allow it to just be fun.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of quick format as well helps it to be a bit more, like, it's just goes straight into, like you say, sort of familiar cartoon territory pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, it's not sort of really, you don't have to sort of develop much, do you, in that way, really?
No, and it's got those kind of, like, the characters are a bit more, that you can thrust them into any situation. Like, the world around them is just, we've got this kind of, basically the end of the first episode, there's a glimpse of a villain, but you could not see this villain for like plenty of episodes, and it wouldn't really affect the show.
Yeah, the Thanos method.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas with Owl House, it kind of, like, you wonder, because we said, didn't we, like, it's weird that they ended that story, because it felt like it was going to go on over the whole season.
Yeah.
And then you wonder where it's going to go next. Whereas this, you feel like you're just going to get drip fed the overarching plot, but it's always going to be the hijinks in between.
Yeah.
So it's definitely doing different things, and I think that's a good thing as well, because you don't want, especially when the actual, on paper, the shows are very similar.
Yeah.
But watching it is a completely different animal.
I think so, yeah. But did you like the characters then? Like, did you get on with it?
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with the characters, to be honest. I thought they were pretty fun. I thought I especially did think that kids would get on with it as well.
Yeah.
Especially that sort of tadpole.
Yeah.
Girl.
Polly, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. You just know kids are going to love her.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's, like, bit of a meathead. Whilst also being this cute little tadpole.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It's got all the charm, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's very charming, isn't it?
Yeah. It is nice. Like, I did like the look of it as well. Like, from the art style to just, like, the sort of slightly textured fantasy background stuff. Like, it was fun. It's a nice environment.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool touches. I thought the actual art, the art style is pretty cool. It's kind of like Pepper Ann mixed with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, but it had its own feel as well. Like, it didn't just feel like another. There's elements of loads of shows you've seen, but it still felt like its own thing. It's not the adult cartoon issue.
No.
Not that this is an adult cartoon, obviously, but it has its own feel to it. The one thing I really liked was the title cards.
Yeah.
Like on wood.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it just looked really nice, just really cool, and added like a bit more atmosphere to it. And I think the whole, like, there's so much that you don't know about it. In that same way, like a Zelda game, I suppose. Little bits that you're like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
Like the music box and stuff like this that definitely would keep you watching. Yeah,
there's enough intrigue in there, isn't there?
Yeah. And you're getting snippets of how she got there. Like, I mean, this is again how it's different, because the first episode of Owl House was entirely how she got into that world.
Yeah.
With this, she's just there, and you're getting drip fed the backstory through the episodes, which I think helps with those short episode pacing as well.
Yeah.
Again, just like a a nice difference. Like there's nothing wrong with either formula, but it's nice that they are different.
Yeah. I like you said, I think this one probably does just have that broader appeal. Like, you know, because maybe not everyone feels the same way as the Owl House characters, which is kind of a, you know, I mean, there's lots of people who feel that way, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is just so pick up and play sort of thing that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like, you know, kids can go straight into this and it's fine. There's not much else to it, and I think with Owl House there was that sort of darker side, you know, like a lot of the villains, like it was like, oh, that's actually seems a bit grimmer than I was expecting, you know. Whereas this is like, it's just still pretty fun. Even the sort of, you know, the big monsters and stuff, they're just not really that frightening. They, you know, they sort of seem to tackle any big monster within 30 seconds, and it's like,
and it's not like like he uses a chili to beat this giant snake, so you know it's just everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's as much threat there as there was in Owl House.
I do think though the broadness of this probably mean that its fan base won't be. I mean, it's obviously still got, you know, a strong fan base, but I think they won't be as almost protective.
Yeah.
So like that tweet earlier saying that this is better, you can imagine the Owl House people being more protective of it.
Yeah.
Because of that sort of, you know, connection to not being accepted. I mean, a theory.
Yeah. It is interesting though that they do play on that, on the sort of the weird friendship dynamic there that in this one as well though. Like it's good that they touch on that, because it, you know, this is the thing, that is what Disney is doing really is, you know, it's just appealing to all the weird stages of growing up that we go through. And like sometimes maybe, you know, you're an outcast, so you're like, okay, I'm an outcast, you just kind of accept that. Or sometimes you have a way in with the in crowd and stuff, and so you just, that just controls your life for you know, when you're young, because the whole world is just you and your friends and stuff. And you know, this is that having them put it in shows like this is a good way for sort of to get in touch and stuff. And I like that they do that, and I like that they show different perspectives, and the fact that it's not always just the entire story. You know, it's like this was, you know, maybe we got like seconds of just seeing the way she was with her friends and stuff, and you get it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Because you know, a lot of us, you know what that's like, or we've seen iterations of it like a million times. So I think pacing wise, like, and as far as like leaning into those issues, I think this show does it in a pretty cool way. It's so fast, but it does just as much as you need. Like, I think it doesn't overfill you. You know, it's not a banquet. It just gives you a little snack, and you're like, yeah, that was nice.
And it doesn't feel like it's, you know, a machine gun in its speed or anything.
Yeah. No,
it's well paced. Yeah.
It does look like, though, from what I've seen on online, and by online I mean just Twitter, from what I've seen the snippets of, like, the story does seem to develop quite, you know, a lot over the next couple of seasons and stuff. So, you know, I wonder if the feel of it changes in that way. You know, like,
it might do. Yeah, I guess. I mean, the fact that Kermit the Frog's in an episode later on makes me think that, you know, the tone remains.
Probably, yeah. You don't get many Kermit cameos.
No, that's like that's something special there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've talked about it, so I guess all that's left is for us to give our reviews.
The world is a deep, dark, and terrifying place for one Shu. Shu hops solo, alone, in the frightening dark of the night.
Shu.
It hears whispers of its name everywhere it hops.
Shu.
Huh?
Shu.
Who said that?
Shu.
How do you know Shu's name? The wind speaks of Shu, but Shu does not see wind. What terrors lie in a footless world? Shu must
Shoo.
continue.
Shoo.
The darkness spreads. The smell of feet linger. But Shu is all alone. And that is not the worst that Shu may face.
Shoo.
Shu.
Shoo.
Coming
Shoo.
this summer.
Okay, so here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follows. So we've got thumbs up, just hopping along,
Yeah.
frogs in the swamp,
Oh yeah.
good times. Thumbs down, you've only got one shoe, mate.
Uh-huh.
Game over.
No.
Shaky middle, avant-garde performances about items of clothing.
Yeah, not sure.
So just to be clear, thumbs up good, thumbs down bad. Shaky middle is exactly that. So Amphibia, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the way this show looked. I really enjoyed the characters. Thought it became fun pretty much instantaneously. I don't think there was anything really bogging it down. I liked those bits of character development that we got from our main character, but I really just liked the fun environment and them just going unleashed pretty much by the time we got to episode 2. There was it's pretty colourful, it's pretty fantasy Zelda inspired, and yeah, I think it does a good job of just like being a show you can pop on, but I do think that that broadness, it sometimes does feel unoriginal in a way. Like there is a side to where it's like I feel like maybe I've seen this before, maybe because you played Zelda or something, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's sometimes it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's something that I haven't ingested already. But I don't think that happens too much. There's still I imagine as the story and characters develop more, it becomes more of its own thing. But it was fun for the ride. So yeah, not really any major gripes with it. So it's gonna have to be a thumbs up, I think, for Amphibia. Yeah.
There you go, thumbs up. Not too shabbily do. Okay, yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It was fun. It was it made me chuckle every now and again. I like the art style. I liked the format. So the shorts, we always like short episodes.
Yeah.
But I like the way that they sort of drip fed the not necessarily heavier points, but the more story driven moments, and that we still had those kind of just wacky escapades that, I know watching this as a kid, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are, many kids that love it now, as well as obviously, just folks like us, just jam heads,
just jammers
trying to get by watching cartoons. But yeah, it's just an enjoyable experience. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not necessarily like I think it's a fairly original concept, but it's not like blow you out of the swamp original.
No.
You're not gonna be like, oh, how did you even think of Lord of Frogs? And actually hearing these sort of inspirations, you kind of like, what? It's like, surely you just saw frogs. That's all the inspiration you need for this in a way. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's still, I think it still captures your imagination in a way that could easily be missed. So yeah, I too would be a thumbs up.
Nice.
Good show.
Good show.
Good show, old boy. So there you go, 2 thumbs up again. We are flying up again.
Look at that.
Oh boy. Let's hope that we can keep this up. Every time we get a good review, I feel like we're due a terrible one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yes, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please feel free to rate and review us. It really helps us out. You can get some bonus episodes. We have a Patreon, and we do all sorts of different themes on there. And you can obviously access the entire backlog of bonus episodes there if you do become a member. And if you want to just catch our old episodes, head over to our YouTube page, where we have covered many episodes. We're approaching 200 episodes now. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So check that out. We also have a merchandise store where you can get t-shirts and all sorts of nonsensical Toon Jam themed items. That's bit.ly/Toon Jam shop. And you can follow us on the 3 rotten snakes of the internet, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Toon Jam Pod. We just love to hear from you, so please get in touch if you've got any recommendations. Genuinely, we'd love to hear them, so please do feel free to just message us on there. Otherwise, thank you again, and until next time, you stay hoppy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you and stay jammy.